This is the part 3 of a tutorial where you are designing and building this keyboard. In this video we are going to place all the components into our PCB. If you haven't watched the previous part, the link is in the description. Let's start. We are going to place components on our board, so be sure we are only working with components like this, and also be sure we are using mils and set the grid to 100 mils. Then go to schematic. First we are going to place these mounting holes, and same as in PCB, it's very useful if you only work with symbols like this, okay? And when you select a symbol in schematic, you can do right click and use this placement transfer feature, or you can find it also here. When you use it, you will be automatically holding the selected components in the PCB, and we can very easily now place them. Okay, so watch where I'm going to place them. This is the mounting hole 205, and see the position. Okay, here you can see where I place it. Now hold it in the middle and place it here. Be sure you are using exactly same position. You can also write the position directly here. It's much faster. So just place this mounting hole, and this is the last one. Place it like this. Okay. Now save. And next we are going to place this USB connector. It's selected. You can see when you select it in schematic, it will be selected also in PCB. Press spacebar to rotate, and this is the top layer. Okay, top layer is the red one, bottom is the blue one. Top layer, it means the component is going to be placed on the top of the PCB. But we would like to have it on the bottom, so be sure the USB connector is placed on the bottom layer, and place it here. Use exactly same position. Okay. Now, what we are going to do next, we are going to place board outline. And you can do the rectangle like this. That's like super simple way to create boards. What you can do, you can also, for example, change the corners. It looks quite okay. You can check in 3D view. But there will be problem with the USB. You can see USB is off the board. It's moved too far away from the board. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this very simple rectangle, and we are going to draw it. We are going to draw the board shape manually. So be sure you are working with board outline layer, make it active. And we are going to draw for us the corners. So click into middle of the hole and draw it like this, okay? Double check the line width and position, and also the size. Okay. Now select it, copy, and hold it in the middle of the hole. Okay, this is very important. Right click, paste, press spacebar to rotate, and place it into middle of the hole. Okay, right click, place, spacebar, spacebar, left click, and the last one, place it here. Okay, we have the corners. Now we are going to connect everything together. So place line and just very simply draw the lines. Okay, so this is very simple. And now the top part, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. So use smaller grid and again draw the lines and watch the position of my cursor, okay? Watch it down here. I'm going to continue. Draw it maybe like this, around the USB connector. We would like to have PCB around the USB connector like this, so it's soldered properly. Okay, now let's have a look. And we moved the USB connector out of the board because you know, we would like to have it at the edge of the case. This looks good. So we are sure we can always plug in the USB cable. Okay, this is perfect. Now the encoders, select it. This is the encoder 1 and place it here. Okay, use this position. Now the second encoder, use this position. Of course, if you would like to, or if you are building your own board, you can place it into different position. But if you are just following this tutorial, use exactly same position. It will make the layout easier for you when we will be doing the layout a little bit later. Now the buttons, we need to place them somewhere there. So this one from the top middle, we would like to place it into middle of our board. Okay, so divided by 2 is 1450. That's the middle of the board. And we would like to move it a little bit up. So move it like here maybe. Okay, perfect. Now, what about the other buttons? We need to place them. But first, search what is the keyboard key spacing, because there is a standard spacing between the keys, and you can see it's 19.05 millimeter. We would like to know how much is this in mils. 750. Okay. So there is 0, 0. We would like to move it to the middle of our button to make the placement easier. So that's what I'm going to do. Watch where we are going to place the 0, 0 position, exactly into middle of this button. Okay, see? And now we would like to also use grid, which makes the placement easier, 750. And we only would like to work with components. Okay, and now the placement is very easy. Don't mix the keys, place them, you know, in the order like this. Okay, this was quick and easy. I'll double check, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, we also would like to place these sockets, but they are on the bottom. So select all these and place them on the bottom side of our PCB. And first one, use spacebar. Second one, third one. And see, this is why we changed or updated the footprints, why we placed the 0, 0 position of this socket into middle of the button, because this makes the placement very easy. double check. Oh, cool. This looks really good. So this is the top layer. Double check if everything is okay, and also double check the sockets. These are from the bottom of our board. You can see the pins from the buttons. Okay, perfect. Save. Now the LEDs, they need to be in the middle of the cross. You remember, yeah? Pitch is 50, so I'm going to change the grid size to 50 mils. And we are going to place the LEDs. Place them on the bottom layer. I'm going to move them a little bit up so it's easier to work with them. Okay. Hide the blue lines because they are kind of disturbing. Right now we don't really need them. And place the LEDs. Again, be sure you are placing them in the correct order. LED 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I'm going to move the 0, 0 position back to the corner. Just do it like this. This is the position of the middle button, top middle button. I'm going to place these holders, metal plate holders. So select it, and in PCB I'm going to move it here. So these are the holders which will help to hold the buttons in the right position. You don't need to use the metal holder, but then the buttons will be a little bit wiggly. But you still can use the keyboard, no problem. Okay, be sure you place them into same position. Next, we are going to place this microcontroller. Again, it's on the bottom. We will place most of the components on the bottom because it will make it cheaper for assembly. Be sure pin number 1 is in the bottom right corner and place it here. Okay. Now select all the components which we already placed and lock them so we don't move them by accident. This is very important because the position of all these components is very important. Okay, don't forget to save everything. See, now we can really move it easily, so that's good. And next, we would like to place these LEDs on the top of the PCB, somewhere here. So first select the RGB LED. and place it. Use this position. Okay. Be sure pin number 1 is in top right corner. Now the second LED. This is the user LED. Again, double check the rotation and use the same position. Okay, pin number 2 or the ground pin is on the top. And the power LED, again use the placement transfer, so you hold it in the PCB and this is the position. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to lock them. Save. Now we are going to change also position of these LEDs. We would like to have ground up here in the top left corner. So first select the LEDs, all the LEDs, and we need to unlock them so we can work with them and change the rotation. Okay, watch what's going to happen. This will make the layout easier when the ground pin is on the top left corner. Don't forget to lock the LEDs again. Okay, perfect. Select all these other components. They will go on the bottom. And I'm going to move them a little bit so it's easier to work with the PCB. I'm going to just place them closer to the board so we don't have to do zoom in, zoom out all the time, or the big zoom in, zoom out all the time. Now we can place this header, debug header. Again, you can use same position because it will make the layout easier for you. And also what will make layout easier is we are going to play a little bit with colors. So in Tools, Layer Manager, we are going to change the color on the bottom layer. Use this one. Okay. And here in Nets, we would like to change color of this 3.3 volt power and also power for the LEDs and ground. This will help you a lot when we will be doing placement and also the layout, because you immediately see where is the ground, which pins are connected to ground and powers. See? Here you can very nicely see how the pins are connected. We don't want to have these component designators, they are just disturbing, so select all the components and hide the designators. See how it works. Go on top layer, on bottom layer, double check everything, and save. Now we are going to place these decoupling capacitors around the microcontroller because they are very important components. So place this one close to pin number 1. Decoupling capacitor should be placed close to the pins where they are connected. So I'm going to make grid a little bit smaller. Here is the pin number 1. So I'm going to place the decoupling capacitor here. Watch the position, okay? you can use exactly same position. Second capacitor is close to pin number 10. So place this one here. There it's connected to pin number 10. So I'm going to place it here. Watch the position. The next one, pin number 22, this one. Spacebar to rotate. Place it here. Pin number 33. It is up here. There is not much space. 42. It's going to be a little bit tricky because there are going to be many tracks. 49. And there is only a limited space. This one goes somewhere here. I'm not placing these capacitors very close to the microcontroller because we need some space for the tracks which will be going out of the microcontroller. Okay, you can't place it very, very close to the pins of the microcontroller. You will see later when we will be doing layout why we left so much space. This is the bigger one. This one doesn't have to be very close to the pins, just close to this block where the microcontroller is. So I'm going to place it here. And again, we are placing all these components on the bottom side because it will make the board assembly cheaper. Now, this one is close to this pin because we will only order the board assembly of the bottom side, and all the components on the top we will just solder manually. There are only few components on the top. This one is close to pin number 44. So when you are drawing schematic, it's also useful to place the capacitors in the schematic close to the pins where they should be, because then it will make the layout easier. You can see during placement, I know which capacitor needs to be placed close to which pin. Okay, there are many here, so I'm going to place them like this. Also this one. Put it down here. And this one, it's here on the other side. Place it like this. Don't worry about this line, it is on top layer, so see, it's fine. Okay. Next, we place all the decoupling capacitors. Now, these USB resistors, they need to be placed close to the microcontroller, somewhere here. So I'm going to enable these rat nets again, because I would like to see where this resistor is connected. See, you can very nicely see where it is connected. So I'm going to place it somewhere here. And this one, where is this connected? Here. Okay, so place it here. And this is very important circuit, needs to be close to the microcontroller pin 20 and 21. So this one needs to go close somewhere here, like this. When you hover cursor over the path, you can see where it is connected. Next, this resistor. Place it up here, okay. These capacitors. So this is the first one. It will be somewhere here. Like this. Now the crystal. Okay, and the second capacitor. Okay, so this is a very important circuit. Be sure you place it close to the microcontroller. Double check how it's going to be connected. Okay, next, these series termination resistors. Again, something what should be kind of close to the microcontroller. You can see where it is connected, so I'm going to place it here. There is not much space where else we can place it, so place it somewhere here. Second one. Again, connect it somewhere here, so put it close to the first one. And the third series termination resistor is the next pin, so place it here like this and like this. Okay, this is the termination resistor, series termination resistor for the buffer. There is not much space. Again, we need to place it somewhere, maybe here. Don't forget to save. Filters. You can see where it is connected. So we need to find some free space. Here is some space. So we can place all the components for the filters here. Okay, watch the position and rotation of the components. And very similar way we are going to place all these other components for the rest of the filters. So resistor, now the capacitor. Okay. Next one. And the capacitor. And the last one. Okay. And the capacitor. Perfect. Okay. Double check how you will be connecting these. Okay. Always when you are doing placement, think about the layout, how you are going to connect the components, if it's possible, or how easy it will be. Next, flash. Okay. You can see where it is connected, so maybe we would like to place it somewhere here. Use the same position. And this is the decoupling capacitor for the power. We need to place it close to the power pin of the flash memory. Okay. What else? Buttons. So the reset button first. Here is some free space, so we can place it here. And we need the components around the button. So if you remember, this is something what I told you about. We would like to move this resistor here. So I'm going to do placement first, and then you will see how the layout will be updated, or how the connections in the layout will be updated when we update this schematic. So first place this, maybe like this. Okay. Watch how it is connected. And the last one. First place this, and then we'll make the update in the schematic. Place it maybe like here. Okay. Now, remember these connections, okay? Remember how it is connected. We are going to move this here. So I'm going to disconnect this. I'm going to move this little bit. And move this. Connect it. Now it's okay. This is better connection. And now watch, okay, watch what's going to happen in the layout. We need to transfer the changes from the schematic to PCB. Here you can see all the changes, what are going to happen. Update net on this resistor. Okay, you can keep this checked and apply the changes. Now, see? This was swapped. We would like to do something similar also here. So we would like to disconnect this, move this resistor, and place it here. Again, the reason is we don't want to have voltage divider. That's why we move the pull-up close to the button. Again, update the PCB based on the new schematic and apply changes. Okay, so if you make any changes in your schematic, this is exactly the way how you then synchronize your PCB with the schematic changes. Select the second button. We are going to place it. Here is some free space. Okay. and place the components around the button. Maybe here, and the second resistor, place it here. Think about layout, okay? How you are going to connect this. Perfect. Next, components around this USB connector. So first, this ESD protection. Very important component needs to be placed close to the pins. Somewhere here maybe. As close as possible, okay? We don't want the ESD pulses travel through our board. We would like to protect these pins as soon as possible. Place it here. Next, the resistors. So these resistors are used. Do you remember why we need these resistors? They are telling our PC or USB hub that we would like to use 5 volts. We need 5 volts to power up our board. Okay. What left? ESD protection on the power pins. Again, place ESD protection close to the pins. This is the second pin on the USB connector. Second power pin. Okay. And the capacitors. We can place one here and the second one on the other side of the connector. Here. Okay. Let's go back to schematic. Power for LEDs. So this resistor, we would like to place it somewhere here close to the USB connector. Okay, and capacitor close to this resistor. Oops. Okay. Then we can also place components around this regulator. Where is space? Here, we can place it here. I'm going to use this position. Place the other components. So this one goes close to pin 1. And the other one goes close to pin 3. Very important, place them close to the pins. Okay. Next, these resistors for the LEDs. So this one is for the power LED. You can see where it is connected. watch the lines. Second one, we can place it down here, and all these other 3 resistors we can place close to the first resistor, maybe like here. Next one, here, and the last one okay. Double check how they are connected. And this. We are going to place it close to this LED input. Okay. And we need to place also the decoupling capacitor. It has to be close to the power pin of the buffer. Go on the next page, double check what is missing, these diodes. So select the first one. You can see where it is connected. So place it here. Next one. Okay. Next one. Maybe up here, because there is the hole for the standoff. This one here. Few more. Spacebar to rotate. Okay. Next. And the last one. Perfect. Okay. Diodes for the encoders. So first one goes here, close to this pin. Second one goes here. And the third one close to the last encoder. Okay. And we can place these components around the encoders. So select this one. We need to place it somewhere here. I'm going to change the grid so it's easier to place them. Like this. Be sure you use same position. and place the rest of the components around this one. Press spacebar to rotate. Next one. Watch how it is connected, okay? You can see how it is connected. This one. Okay. And the capacitors. Okay. And the last one. Now the big one. And that's it. Okay, these are all the small components around the encoder. Similar way, place all the components for the second encoder. Okay. This is the position. And very quickly place the rest of them. Same way as for the first one. Okay. Just keep double checking if the rotation of the components is correct. And only what left is the big capacitor. So select it and place it. Okay, looks good. Now the last one. And we are almost finished. We should replace it same way as I do. See, only few components left, so that's really good. Placement is not difficult, but it's very important because good placement will make the layout easier, and also good placement is important for your circuit to work properly. For example, the decoupling capacitors. Placing decoupling capacitors close to the power pins is very important. Just double checking. If you would like to know more about placement, don't forget, we have online courses. So you can learn why we are placing these decoupling capacitors close to the power pins. Or you can watch my free YouTube videos. I've done a number of YouTube videos on the decoupling topic. So only this left. These are the decoupling capacitors for the LEDs. So place them close. Maybe I'm going to use smaller grid. And I'm going to place rest of them very similar way. So this one goes to the switch number 2 or LED 2, 3, Okay, 4, 5, almost finished, almost finished. Next one. Okay. Okay. There is not much space here, so I will move it a little bit up, maybe like here. And the last one. Cool. There is nothing else left. Perfect. Save. We would like to only work with components and double check position of the holes, because this is very, very important. Okay. Double check position of the connector and the switches. You need to be sure you didn't move it by accident or something. Use exactly same positions what I have in my PCB. And also double check the position of the encoders. These are the LEDs. Oh, this one is weird. I'm going to correct it. Okay. Flash button. And also double check position of the LEDs. Okay. This is the debug header and the sockets. Compare your board with the values what I have in my board. Okay. And save everything. Now let's have a look. This is our keyboard. This is the PCB of our keyboard. Placement is finished. And it looks like this. I don't like this debug header. We don't want to have the 3D model. So I'm going to delete it. Because when we draw enclosure around this PCB, it would be sticking out of the enclosure. So now you can see it's not there. And perfect. Well done. You finished placement, and now we are going to connect everything. We are going to do PCB layout. So let's continue. The link to the next part is in the description. And don't forget, if you would like to learn more about electronics, check out our online courses about schematic design, PCB layout, EMC, measurement. We have courses about KeyCap, Altium Designer, and more. Go to fedevel.com and have a look. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Bye!